All right, we are going to take a look at a split study in this video. So split study, when I pay money into a life insurance policy, where can it go? Toward the premium or toward the PUA component. We're going to compare a 1090 split, a policy on a 40-year-old male paying in $100,000 per year for 7 years. We're going to look at a 1090 split with a 1-year term rider attached, and then we're going to directly compare that with a 30/70 split. It's actually, the 1090 is a little bit lower. It's about a 9% base premium, and then the 30/70 is about a 33% base premium. And the reason why is with the 1090, obviously, we wanted to minimize the premium as much as possible to optimize the cash value short-term and long-term. And then with the 30/70, we went as low as we possibly could without triggering a modified endowment contract at any point in time, while at the same time not utilizing any term insurance riders. So this is a good comparison if we've been digging into information and looking at the pros and cons of a term rider. Now with the 1-year term rider, I will add that there are the current costs, and then there are also guaranteed costs associated with a 1-year term rider, meaning the company reserves the right to increase those expenses if they want to. So we're going to look at those expenses and see exactly how they impact the performance in analyzing the current values, the non-guaranteed values, and also the guaranteed values. So policy design, we always talk about this. It's especially important when looking at split studies. When I pay money into a policy, if I have a 1090 split, if I'm paying $100,000 per year into a policy, 10%, which is as low as we could go with the company we ran it, would result in what? $10,000 going toward the base premium, which does not generate any cash value up front. Let me rephrase. It generates a few $100s up front. PUA dollars, the other $90,000, shows up in cash value. Now our MEC limit is at $100,000, a little bit overinflated in both examples actually, but we solved for the minimum death benefit possible. So that MEC limit of $100,000, where we talk about you can set that MEC limit wherever you want, what that MEC limit has a direct relationship to is an individual's age, gender, and a total death benefit on a life insurance policy. All right, let's get into the numbers and have some fun. So on the left, we've got the 1090 split policy. Here's what we got. Where is my money going? We mentioned it's a little bit lower than a true 1090 split. So total outlay in bold blue, we've got $100,000 per year going into the policy for 7 years. The option to continue to fund thereafter, but we go reduced paid up. We're funding up to the 7-pay limit, the MEC limit for 7 years, optimizing the internal rate of return in that manner. So where is my money going? That's the question. Base premium, $9,100 per year. So we squeezed this as low as we possibly could. Now, if we just stopped with a $9,100 base premium, you would have a MEC limit for a 40-year-old male, probably about $20,000 max. It'd be a little bit less than that actually. So how we obtained this MEC limit of $100,000 plus is we attached term insurance to the policy, add the whole life death benefit plus the term benefit, and you come up with the net death benefit here. Where we came up with that figure was purely based off of a $100,000 MEC limit. That is exactly what the client wanted. Okay. So again, where is his money going? That's what we want to look at here. $9,100 toward the base premium. Then we have the term insurance rider cost. There's the term rider amount. Here's the term rider cost per year. Now, this again is a 1-year term insurance rider. What that means is each year that the term rider is attached to the policy, it renews at a more expensive rate. It is a 1-year renewable term rider. However, how the policy is set up is as we pump money into a whole life insurance policy. Here's our PUA component here. We are plowing funds into this rider. What happens, your cash value looks good, but what happens to your whole life death benefit when you do that? Goes up. How the 1-year term rider is constructed is that as the whole life death benefit goes up, the term rider comes down. So while the rate of the 1 year term may increase, my net cost is really what I'm interested in. And what happens to my net cost? It goes down, not up. Here's my PUA amount increasing as my 1 year term cost goes down. More of my 100,000 is allocated toward the PUA component. So I'm beefing up my cash value further. Break even point between years 3 and 4, very strong here. Okay, after the 7 years, cash value continues to grow. Average internal rate of return. This is very important here. Anytime we see a dividend rate on a life insurance policy, we want to be mindful of the fact that dividend rate is not what we are actually earning on our money. That is a gross rate credited after the insurance expenses, after the mortality charges. The net internal rate of return sheds more light or provides more transparency on the actual growth of the policy over time. So here we go. Average IRR, factoring in all the years, as we scroll down here, tops out around 4.6% in this example. Now, to the right, 33-67 split. No term insurance rider attached. I should add, these examples are based on the present dividend rate assumptions. Okay, here we go. 100,000. First year, base premium $32,800. PUA component $67,200. Cash value right off the bat, just about 66 grand. There's my death benefit of about 2.8 million. So as time passes, year 2, we make another $100,000 payment into the policy. There's our base premium again, $32,800. 140. Average IRR goes positive year 7, and that's my break-even point. So I've paid in $700,000, and now I have $700,000. Take some time to get the performance going. Pay nothing in thereafter. And what do I notice here on the cash value difference? If I were to scroll down, let's go down. Let's look at it long term here, actually. 50 years. This is a long time. Can we capture all that? No, we can't. 50 years. So we're about 90 years old at this point in time. 5.64 million in the 1090. In the 3070, 5.1 million. It's got over $500,000 difference in cash value with the same company, same individual, same health rating. The only difference here was the policy design. Now that is powerful, isn't it? Now with all that said, let's look at worst case scenario for both of them. So we're going to look at just the guarantees now. Splits will be identical, but we've got that 1 year term rider on the 1090 split. So meaning that cost is going to go up here when I look at the guarantees, which it does. But which one do I have more money in is still a question. So 1090, the overall design, where the money's going, this is the exact same policy, same base premium. Here's what I want to touch on though. There's my term insurance rider. There's my term rider amount. So it decreases at a slower rate than the last example we just looked at. The reason being is no dividends are being paid on this policy at all. Just the guaranteed values. So it depreciates or devalues at a slower pace. Also, this term rider cost, again, the cost per unit jumps up. But again, I'm going to say here, who cares? And here's the reason why. This is what I'm interested in. Net out of pocket remains the same. Net cash value. That is what I want to look at in all scenarios. Meaning if I hear that cost or fees or anything can increase with a particularly way to design policies or a particular policy designed in a certain way, yes, that is true, but does it impact the bottom line, the net cash value, guaranteed and non-guaranteed? Just to really shed light on the truth of how the policies work. So here we go. Breaking even based on the guarantees year 6. I've paid in $600,000. I have more than $600,000. 3070 or 3367. Same base premium, no term insurance rider. cash value, about $66,000 right off the bat. When is my break-even point? Year 10, based on the guarantees. Now we've got a cash value difference column here as well. What do you notice? Right off the bat, I've got about $22,000, $23,000 less in cash value. By the time I hit year 10, there's $88,000 left with the same policy, same company, everything the same, except for the design in this example. $88,000 less, where I paid in a total of $700,000. That's a significant amount of money. Guarantees apples to apples here. As time passes, does it get any better? No. Now what I want to hit on here as well, in case you're really studying these numbers, before I scroll down, annual internal rate of return. You'll notice the 1090 is stronger through the first 7 years, but then after that, they become identical. The reason why is we executed on both of them to keep everything fair, apples to apples, a reduced paid up option. And when you do that, it levels the playing field with both policies, and we see identical IRRs as time passes, or very, very close. Now, still, it's really who got out of the gates faster in that example. 1090, more cash value all the way through. And as time passes, it becomes significant. If I look at age 70, I've got $170,000 more with that well-designed policy. And this is based on the guaranteed cash values, not the non-guarantees. That was the last one we looked at. So it's really interesting when we look at policy design and how to design it properly for maximum cash value, if that's what you're interested in with a high cash value life insurance policy. A lot of info here. Let me know if it helps. Any questions, reach out anytime, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again. Hey guys, Steve Parisi here. If you enjoyed the content you just saw, please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell for future videos. If you'd like more information or to see some custom policies for yourself, feel free to call or email our offices at the contact information below.